What's up, crypto legends? Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today, of course. $67,000, the strongest level of resistance of the last few months. This is where we're at. Are we going to manage to break it in the next coming hours or couple of days? Most importantly, higher time frame levels of resistance above $67,000 and the strongest levels of support where we could bounce. So make sure to stay tuned till the very end. Quick reminder, if you're not trading already, Bybit, my #1 crypto trading platform. You got an insane bonus down below on Bybit of 20% fee reduction and $30,000 deposit bonus. If you cannot trade on Bybit, there is bluffing and 𝗬𝗫 with the lowest fees. You also get the greatest bonus, and as no KYC with an email and a password, you signing up in a matter of minutes and starting to trade. Let's go through the higher time frames here, keeping it extremely simple and short on this episode. We are here, guys. We are here at the point of control from March and April. We've been hitting this level yesterday. We're getting those rejections. Are we going to manage to break through, follow through potentially in the weekend? Well, if we were to break through, okay, and then we'll go through the lower time frames, okay, scenarios. I'm going to talk about those potential scalp day trading setups. But higher time frame, most important levels of resistance. The most important level of resistance above $67,000 is no doubt the $69,100. Why? When we go to the weekly time frame and we do take a look at that price action that we've had to the downside here back in April, this huge red candlestick. When we take a look at the fixed volume profile, we do have an insane high volume node right over here at 69,100, converting that in a naked weekly point of control. So very important level right over there. No doubt you've got a massive high volume node from a week created here in November. So when we do zoom out, okay, to the 4-hourly time frame, we know that that is a very, very strong level. The main reason why we are getting rejected from here, the $67,000, is not only because we have the point of control. We retested that level here back in April as well and failed miserably to continue to the upside and rolled over. When we do take a look at Fibonacci from the all-time high to the pivot low created here on the 1st of May, we can see that that 618.65 Fibonacci, the most respected Fibonacci level, is also where we have this point of control at $67,000 range. So this is why we're getting a little bit of reaction. If we are going to break through from this level, what we need to take into consideration, all right, is that naked weekly naked point of control, $69,100. We're going to add some confluence here. The more confluence that you add, the stronger the level it gets. So when we take a look at this pivot high, we've got two pivots here to take a look at Fibonacci from the drop, right? So when we do take a look at this pivot high to the pivot low here from the 1st of May, we take a look at Fibonacci and we pull it right over there to the low. We can see that the 7/8 Fibonacci is also exactly at the $69,100 range, where we do have that weekly naked point of control. When we do take a look at this pivot low and the pivot high and this pivot low, we can see that we're already forming a 3-wave structure, either in an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, very explosive third wave, right? And what is most common? That you're at least going to hit a 1-to-1 extension. What do I mean by this? Well, usually the waves, okay, the first wave is very similar to the third wave, at least a 1-to-1. Of course, it could extend to the 1.618 extension, especially if it's a third wave and even a C wave, okay, very brutal C wave would be hitting the 1.618. So let's get the Fibonacci extension from this pivot low to that pivot high as a wave 1 or a wave A, and this as a wave 2 or a wave B. We can see that the 1-to-1 extension is sitting exactly at the naked point of control and the 7/8 Fibonacci from this pivot high over here to the pivot low on the 1st of May. A lot of Fibonacci confluence at that zone with that naked point of control. This is a rejection point, no doubt. This is going to be huge resistance. This will pull back at least a few $100, potentially even $1,000 if we start rocketing to that level. Of course, what is the strongest level of support, Andy? Well, we can see it here when we take a look at the fixed range for March and April. We can see here that that value area low is sitting at 63,500 is right over here. We do have some higher resistance, of course, above that range. Now, let me just go right away and zoom in here on the chart and let's talk about this momentum. We got one wave here, two wave. Okay, that's pretty clear. But now let's focus on this range. We've got a 1 wave right there, 2 wave, 3 wave, the 4th wave, right, that we've been talking about during the last couple of days. Is this the end of the 4th wave? Now, usually 4th waves are larger than the 2nd wave. And in this case, it was very, very short in time. So could this be an ABC right there? It's definitely a possibility. We'll be focusing here on lower time frames to see what could happen, because maybe the price is just going to continue to the upside during the weekend. There's probably going to be more buying pressure during the weekend than selling pressure. So if we were to suddenly start rolling down here, say that we start rolling down, we need to take into consideration that, yes, maybe it is an ABC flat, or maybe this has already been the end, okay, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to start dropping down impulsively. We don't really know. However, what we do know is the levels of support where we could get a bounce. Even though if it's a bounce of a few $100s, we can make some money if we manage risk very, very well. So let's take a look at the support levels, of course. When we take a look at the volume profile and focus here on this range that we've had during the last few weeks, we do have the highest volume node, which is sitting at the 63,000. Okay, let me just zoom in here. We can probably go to the 1 hourly time frame, would be much better. Zoom in here on this price action that we've had during the last few weeks. All right, since the 15th of April. We can see here almost a month of price action. We can see that highest volume node from this massive consolidation that we've had. So if the price were to pull back, right, we're looking at bullish and bearish case scenarios, okay? We're looking at support and resistance levels. Say that price suddenly starts rolling down here in between today and tomorrow and starts moving down very aggressively to claim that low from Thursday, which is sitting beneath 64,700. Something to take into consideration that this pivot is no doubt a failed auction level or a swing failure pattern level where you would be expecting the price to wick down below and possibly get above it. And if you do get above it, that would be a clear sign of strength that the price could be looking for a higher low right over here. If this were to happen by Monday, Tuesday, we do have that higher low support trend line as well. So say that we start rolling down in the next coming days, we got the higher low support trend line right over here, and it's also the 50% Fibonacci range from pivot low to the pivot high. It's slightly above that point of control right now, just created those highs from yesterday. That is the zone where the price could hit and get a bounce. Let's just say that we're not going to break the highs from yesterday successfully. We might double top right there, and I'll explain that scenario in just a second. But taking a look at Fibonacci extension, if we are considering a possible flat, we can see that the 1.618 being a brutal C wave in a flat, right, going all the way to the 1.618, is sitting exactly where we have the highest volume node. 1.618 right over here of the last few weeks, highest volume node, and we'll be also having the higher low support trend line. This is a zone 63,900 where you have high probability for a bounce, whether that is $300 or maybe over $1,000. Okay, so it's a level to take into consideration, especially to look at the lower time frames and look for that reaction. Double bottoms on the 1 minute, 3 minute time frame, right? You're reacting at that level. It is a zone to look to catch a long position while you're forming a double bottom potentially. Now let's zoom in on the lower time frame, such as the 5 minute time frame. Analyze this situation, because yes, price is still having pretty strong momentum here with higher lows, right? You're still forming higher lows. You're starting to go a little bit sideways. So will we successfully break above yesterday's highs? This is going to be the question. We do still have a few $1 billion of short liquidations sitting in between 67,500 and 67,900. Could we get a nasty wick here to the upside, a nasty move up, and fail to go to higher levels? I would consider this one as a potential swing short position, right? Day trade swing short position, only if we do reject aggressively from yesterday's highs. If the price action gets an explosive breakout, I do expect $69,100 to be hit potentially in the coming days, as it is the one-to-one extension from that wave that we just explained a few minutes ago. Okay, it is the one-to-one extension from this pivot low, pivot high to this pivot low. It's the one-to-one extension, and we really don't have much resistance above the $67,000. So the momentum can be very, very powerful. Stay cautious with any short positions above $67,200 if the price is getting punchy. This could absolutely rocket all the way up to $69,100, and that is the zone where I would be expecting a significant rejection. Pay attention here locally because, yes, no doubt, a double top is possible because, yeah, we could basically just sweep that liquidity. The momentum is going sideways slightly, even though the momentum is bullish. We are creating higher lows, but we're very much aware of that last liquidity grab and a big rejection as this level is extremely, extremely strong resistance. If we do not reject from that level and we are staying above it, then obviously we are just looking for 69,100 potentially in the next 1 to 2 days. Guys, not much more has to be said in this episode. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.